Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show, aka TOCNS. This show is an amalgam of strange, weird, bizarre, off-the-wall, and otherwise things you don't normally see anymore in most news sources these days. During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss. For links to the articles, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Alexander, and you are you. Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, aka Tuesday. April 11th, 2023. So let's get into the news today, shall we? Starting us off with Oddity Central. We have Brazilian model launched perfume laced with her own sweat. That's absolutely disgusting. Vanessa Moura, a 29-year-old Brazilian model and online influencer, has been getting a lot of attention because of her new perfume, which she claims introduces her body sweat or includes in her body sweat as an ingredient. The Sao Paulo-based model claims that she was inspired to use her sweat to create her signature fragrance, Fresh Goddess, after her boyfriend and her ex-partner both praised her natural body odor as sexy and exciting. Well, of course he'd say that. He's just trying to get into your clam jam. Each bottle of perfume contains 8 milliliters of sweat, quote, for a touch of sensuality and femininity, end quote. No, that's just a touch of absolute disgustingness, making it the ideal fragrance for dating and attracting the attention of someone you like. Nope, absolutely not. Moura claims that online followers who use Fresh Goddess confirmed its power of attraction, with one person allegedly getting invited on a second date by her crush because of the perfume. I really doubt that. That's just people trying to virtue signal the person they support. That is absolutely disgusting and appalling, and I truly hope that she goes bankrupt. Anyway, let's move on up here. More from Oddity Central. Japanese power tool company launched world's first cordless microwave oven. Here's something interesting. Japanese power tool manufacturer Makita recently unveiled a first-of-its-kind portable microwave oven powered by 2 large batteries that can be recharged and replaced on the go. Mock-ups of a cordless microwave have been doing the rounds online as April Fools for years. But this year, Japanese power tool giant Makita decided to surprise everyone with a market-ready battery-powered oven that can reheat dozens of foods and drinks on the go. The new Makita MW001G microwave oven is able to deliver 500 watts of power for up to 8 minutes, after which it automatically switches to a lower power 350 watt mode to conserve battery life. It weighs just 19.4 pounds or 8.8 kilograms and can reheat about 11 refrigerated lunches or 20 drinks on 2 fully charged XGT 40 volt max 8AH batteries. Alright, that's pretty cool. So, for those of you who like to go camping but don't want to get rid of the modern conveniences, just like, Tom from Parks and Recreation, played by Aziz Ansari. Yeah, here you go. Cordless, wireless microwave. So yeah, now you can go glamping, glamorous camping. Let's move on up here, more from Oddity Central. Man calmly drives with swarm of bees nesting inside of his car. What? Bees are considered an omen of good fortune in China, so when a man found a swarm of bees building their nest in his car, he decided to just drive the car with his new weak companions. A man from China's Anhui province recently went viral after posting a series of videos on himself calmly driving in his car with bees swarming around inside the vehicle. Most people would freak out at the sight of a single bee flying around their head, but the Chinese driver, surnamed Yao, was all smiles and even boasted that he was going to be rich, referring to the belief that bees visiting one's home was an auspicious omen. It's unclear how the bees got into the car or why they chose it as their place of congregation, but the viral videos gave many on social media goosebumps. So, let's check this out here real quick. Yeah, he has a whole thing of bees just literally inches from his head. This guy is an absolute lunatic, and he's driving. I'm surprised they're not stinging him, honestly. This guy has no idea how lucky he is. This is absolutely insane. So, alright, let's move on up. More from Oddity Central. Wild duck lives with knife stuck in its neck. What? Animal rescuers in Brittany, France were stunned by a wild duck that seemed to lead a perfectly normal life despite having a knife stuck in its neck. This reminds me of that one guy from Mission Hill, the cartoon, Gus. Somebody stabbed him in the head. He was just walking around with a knife handle sticking out of his head. Nicknamed Donald the Duck by members of the Pinocchio et Savignons Association, the mallard with a red knife handle sticking out of the left side of its neck had long attracted the attention of people in St. Nolf, northwestern France. What really stunned those who saw the wild duck was how unaffected he seemed by the wound, swimming alongside other ducks, walking around on his webbed feet, and being able to feed normally. However, animal rescuers at Pinocchio et Savignons worried that the knife could become a serious problem with time, so they decided to take it out. That really makes me wonder, like, who would stab a duck in the neck with a knife and just leave it there? Like, that is wild. Mr. Pump, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, you're probably doing better than this duck with a knife in its neck.
Yeah, I'm actually making money on like that duck.
Yeah.
That duck can't even get a job.
Moving on up from UPI, aka Oopie. Chinese man sets world record for 4-finger push-ups with claps. Here's something that you should work towards, Mr. Pump.
Wow.
A 21-year-old Chinese college student broke a Guinness World Record when he used only 4 fingers to do 21 push-ups in 1 minute and clapped his hands in between each push-up. Wow.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. Zhang Yozhan, a student at Sanji Aviation Vocational and Technical College, said he started training his body with weights and push-ups at the age of 13, and he started doing finger push-ups as a junior high student after seeing the exercise being performed in kung fu movies. Well, kids are very influential. That's why politics are constantly going after them. So, but yeah. That's incredible. Like,
but yeah, that's impressive. No other way around it. Impressive.
Yep. We have here more from Oopie. New York Museum building world's largest Donkey Kong arcade machine, and here's a picture. It's not the actual thing. You can see a NPC guy right here. This is just a mock-up to show the size of this. But the New York Museum. I'm sorry. What?
I said, dang. That's gonna be big.
Yeah. The New York Museum that houses the World Video Game Hall of Fame announced it is installing a 20-foot Donkey Kong arcade cabinet designed to be the largest in the world. The Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester announced on social media it is working to create the world's largest playable Donkey Kong arcade game. The machine will be 370% larger than the original arcade cabinet, but will be fully functional and available for guests to play, the museum said. The cabinet is planned to be 20 feet tall, dwarfing the 16-foot Tetris cabinet that holds the Guinness World Record for the largest arcade machine. Oh, of course, Nintendo's trying to topple Tetris. The Strong said that Nintendo of America, which owns the Donkey Kong game and associated characters, provided input on the project. So, yeah, Donkey Kong, released in 1981, features the first appearance of perennial hero Mario. Nope, it does not. It does not. It does not, actually. Let me do some live research here. Jumpman. Not Lumpman. Jumpman.
Isn't it? Yeah, I was going to say, it's not even Mario. It's a completely different character or something.
Or Mario. Yeah, no, like a lot of people don't realize that there's a story behind the whole thing involving Donkey Kong and all that stuff. The reason why Donkey Kong stole Mario, a.k.a. Jumpman's girlfriend. There's a whole video on this, by the way, out there. So anybody who's interested, go do your homework. But every Nintendo product, when you actually peel back, the veil, they are evil. Because the original game featuring Mario, aka Jumpman, was some kind of circus game in which he whipped Donkey Kong mercilessly. So in order to get revenge, Donkey Kong stole his girlfriend, who later became Princess Peach, in the Mario universe. And then Mario, of course, killed Donkey Kong. And then there's a game after that, DK Jr. or something, in which Mario utilizes DK Jr. in some kind of really horrible animal abuse way. Like, when you really look at Nintendo, it is evil. It is downright evil. So, So yeah, let's move on up here. More from UPI. Lizard manages to fend off lions and cobra. What? Wow. This is like here. Look, there's a little lizard. There's a cobra here and 2 lions. Like you'd think that'd be a losing situation for the lizard, but let's take a look at this. 2 lions bump into a snake on the road and treat it cautiously. A lizard appears out of nowhere, distracting the lions from the retreating snake. Daniel Anthony, a nature guide working in the Sarabi Sands Private Game Reserve at Chitwad Lodge in South Africa, shared the sighting with latestsightings.com. Quote, as we came around a bend, to my surprise, a pride of lions appeared right in front of us, and we had one of the best walk-bys I've ever experienced. We had watched the whole pride walk past us, but something then distracted 2 sub-adult lions, end quote. Another quote, a cobra emerged into the road and squared up to the lions. Initially, we didn't realize that the cobra had been hunting the lizard, who was hidden from view in the shrub on the roadside. The cobra, a formidable opponent, had to make a choice, sacrifice a meal or possibly become one. So we have the actual video here. Wow. So the cobra was the snake was hunting the lizard, and then the lizard got away, it sounds like, maybe. So...
Wow.
Oh, there's a lizard.
That's clever.
Yeah. Huh.
It's funny. It kind of reminds me of like with the black mamba and the mongoose.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever a mongoose can get bit by a black mamba and survive it, but it can only get bit so many times before it actually like succumbs to the venom.
Yeah.
Because it is extremely resilient to that venom.
Yeah, well, evolutionary.
It's not completely venom-proof, but it is very resilient.
Yeah, that reminds me of a funny, ironic thing. This back in the day, there was this one king who, because he was afraid of being poisoned, intentionally poisoned himself like every day, and then built up an immunity. And then, and then there was like a coup or like a siege or something, and then he tried to poison himself to suicide. But he was immune to it, and then he got executed. So, whoopsie doodle.
Like it worked for him, and then also backfired.
Well, like, that goes along to saying, if you know your fate and you take steps to avoid it, you actually cause it even harder. You should know this. You played God of War. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah. You try to prevent fate, and it just increases the likelihood of it happening.
Yep. So, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Let's move on up here. More from Oopie. Here we go again. Mystery objects in Phoenix sky identified as weather balloons. And there's been some more balloon sightings. So Noah actually talked to us about this off camera yesterday. Mysterious teardrop-shaped balloons that sparked speculation of foreign surveillance or UFO activity over Phoenix were identified as weather monitoring equipment. Residents of the Phoenix area snapped photos of the balloons floating through the sky over the city, and some initially speculated they could be Chinese surveillance equipment or UFOs from outer space. Yet again, I mean, it's kind of funny. Now everybody's on edge about balloons.
Everybody's just like, oh, they see balloons and they go, oh, it might be from China.
Dude, that makes me wonder, like, if you're ever at, like, a fair or something and you see a kid let go of their balloon, now it makes me wonder if they're a Chinese spy.
Good question.
Anyway, let's move on up here. More from Oopie. World's most expensive sandwich returns for Grilled Cheese Day. Okay. Looks like it's going to have something to do with gold-encrusted something. New York Eatery announced it is bringing back a $214 grilled cheese sandwich that was dubbed the world's most expensive sandwich by Guinness World Records. Serendipity 3, a New York restaurant famous for its opulent creations, announced the quintessential grilled cheese will return to the menu for a limited time on Wednesday, National Grilled Cheese Day, tomorrow. All right. Actually, was it tomorrow? Yeah, it is tomorrow. The $214 grilled cheese was dubbed the world's most expensive sandwich by Guinness World Records when it made its debut in 2014. I wonder if the price has something to do with it. $214, you know? The sandwich, which has to be ordered 48 hours in advance, so you better know what you're eating, features French Pullman champagne bread made with Dom Perignon champagne. The bread is covered in grass-fed white truffle butter before being filled with slices of Caciocavallo Podillo cheese. Pardon me. The sandwich is then toasted until golden, and the edges are then gilded in 23-karat edible gold. Wow. Oh, and it's also served with a side of South African lobster tomato bisque, because of course, why not? Oh, in a champagne glass, no less. Look at that. Huh. Well, Yeah, if you have a lot of money and you want to eat the most expensive grilled cheese sandwich on grilled cheese, sandwich day, here you go. Let's move on up. More from UPI. Arkansas man caught 102-pound paddlefish from his kayak. Wildlife officials in Arkansas said a man fishing for a walleye from his kayak managed to land a massive 102-pound paddlefish. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission's Fisheries Division said Robert Murphy of Fayetteville was fishing from his kayak on the Upper White River near Goshen, where he hooked the giant paddlefish. The Post said that the fish was short of the 118-pound 9-ounce state record for paddlefish set by an angler in Beaver Lake in 2020. Wow, so he was close. So, well, by 16 pounds and 9 ounces. So, moving on up to NPR. Police came to pull out a Jeep from a lake. They found a woman inside who was alive. Whoa. It started with a call from a fisherman who said he saw what looked to be a black Jeep virtually submerged in a large lake in Marion County, Tejas. Not until later, after a tow truck came, did anyone realize that someone was in the vehicle and they were still alive. After the initial call on Friday morning, it took deputies around 18 minutes to reach the scene at Lake the Pines, which sits between Dallas and Shreveport, Louisiana. It took a little longer for a truck from a nearby wrecker service to arrive. The Jeep was far from shore, about 40 feet out in the water from Woody's Camp boat ramp. The fisherman who called the authorities stuck around, using his boat to help a tow truck worker get out to the Jeep and hook up a tow cable, Rogers said. Deputies called an ambulance. In the meantime, the woman was put in the car to keep her warm. She was later taken to a hospital. So this is after they discovered. But how did she get there? 40 feet? Like, I don't want to make a sexist woman driver joke, but I mean, it's right here on a golden platter. Hell, not even a golden platter, a platinum platter. Like, how did she get there? And how did she survive? That is remarkable and kind of confusing at the same time. Anyway, more from NPR here. He felt the slither of a venomous snake in the cockpit. Then he turned the plane around. I don't blame him. In Johannesburg, South Africa, of all the things to go wrong mid-air in the cockpit of a plane, finding a venomous snake under the pilot's seat must surely be one of the worst scenarios. I am tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Okay? Thought we were over this. Where's Samuel L. Jackson? Get him on the horn. We gotta send him over to South Africa right now to get rid of all the snakes on the plane. Quote, I felt this little cold sensation underneath my shirt where my hip is situated, but basically where you've got your little love handles, the pilot said. When he looked down, the pilot was surprised to see a highly venomous Cape Cobra under his seat. Oh, wow. How'd that get there? That is terrifying. Erasmus felt the slithering stowaway as he was piloting a private flight from South Africa's Western Cape to the northeastern town of Nelspruit on Monday. He decided to turn the light aircraft around and make an emergency landing at the closest airport of Welcome. What a good name, Welcome. Perfect. But yeah, so, and as I've failed to say so far, for further reading on any and all of these articles that I've covered and the ones that we will, please refer to the underbar of the description below. The links to all of these articles are down there. Let's move on up here. AP News, 78-year-old bank heist suspect, quote, I didn't mean to scare you, end quote. A 78-year-old woman with 2 past bank robbery convictions faces new charges after authorities alleged she handed a teller a note that said, I don't mean to scare you, during a recent Missouri heist. Bonnie Gooch, the Gooch, is jailed on $25,000 bond after she was charged with 1 count of stealing or attempting to steal from a financial institution in the holdup Wednesday in Pleasant Hill. The Kansas City Star reports no attorney is listed for her online court records. For her in online court records. She was also convicted of robbing a California bank in 1977 and one in the Kansas City suburb of Leeds Summit in 2020. Her probation in the second heist ended in November 2021. So she needs to be detained. Clearly, she's a danger to herself and society around her. So just because she's old doesn't mean she's not dangerous. Sorry, what?
She's a danger to money.
Yes, she is.
She's a danger to Dutch's money.
Oh, God. I just need more money, Arthur. I have a plan.
Arthur, we need more money.
Well, here's something straight out of Zootopia. Officer Cottontail, Bunny joins police force for real. So, real life Officer Judy Hopps, anyone? Meet Mercy, the police rabbit. Some bunny, also known as Officer Ashley Carson, found a lost rabbit last year in the middle of Percy Avenue in Yuba City, California. I know where that is. Carson, of course, this is happening in California. Why? Oh God, Disney.
Only in California.
Yeah. Carson scurried back to the police station and handed the rabbit over to animal control, who could find neither hide nor hair of the bunny's family. In a happy ending, oh God, the puns. Who wrote this? I need to team up with them to make a comedy club. In a happy ending, a police services analyst adopted the allegedly docile and friendly animal and named him Percy. The Yuba City Police Department, about 40 hopping miles, or 64.37 kilometers north of Sacramento, announced the rabbit's promotion to the rank of wellness officer just days before Easter Sunday. All right. So we have an actual rabbit on the police force.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the word? Life imitates art. Or I wouldn't call. What was the name? Help me. What's that Disney movie? Zootopia. I wouldn't call Zootopia art, but still, this is. Yeah. And why does it have a canine vest? What the hell? I guess that's for Chihuahuas, but that's weird.
Honestly, the thing with Zootopia, the movie's okay. It's not a good movie and it's not a bad movie. It's in that mediocre threshold.
What a lot of people don't realize is Zootopia has a lot of racial undertones.
That it does.
Yep. That's the propaganda Disney's trying to instill into the children of today's world that a lot of people don't realize. But anyway, let's get on to our last but not least story. From Ripley's Ice Age discovery, 30,000-year-old squirrel found in Canada. Wow. The Ice Age...
Canada.
Oh, of course they're talking about the Ice Age franchise, because the first thing I thought about was Scrat. So, the Ice Age franchise that began in 2002 contains many hilarious scenes featuring Scrat, a saber-toothed squirrel. Wow, right there. So whoever wrote this is on my page. The fuzzy guy gets into plenty of trouble during various acorn-driven escapades. You can even categorize these misadventures as downright catastrophic. Among the most famous episodes is in his attempt to bury a prized acorn. It leads to an unintended crack in the ice, sending a glacier hurtling towards the scraggly rodents. Okay, blah, blah, blah. While a 30,000-year-old Arctic squirrel fossil sounds fantastic on its face, what gold miners discovered in Canada in 2018 was anything but pretty. A ball of claws and fur, the unrecognizable object had researchers scratching their heads. Some declared it as a mangled lump of mummified flesh, giving it a little more thought. Okay, so that's what they found. A fossilized squirrel. So maybe they actually did find Scrat. So, all right.
Plot twist: the characters in that movie were real.
They were legit characters, and they're just now finding the remains of them.
What are they gonna find next? A giant sloth that has green bones?
Well, I mean, with how the universe is limitless, everything that you can possibly imagine either has, is, or will exist. So somewhere out there in the universe, Sid the Sloth is real, or was real, Cool Whip, or will be real. So, yeah. But yeah, that shall conclude the show today. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of different, odd, and otherwise unusual news, we stream every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 3 Mountain, 4 Central, and
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am Alexander.
And I am Father Pump, a.k.a. the Slayer.
A.k.a. the Rhombuser. And of course, you viewer are you, and until you catch us on Friday, or if you're interested in some history, we have a history show every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time. By the way, announcement, we will be doing the Twitch switch after the history show tomorrow, hopefully. So we're going to be live streaming on Twitch from now on, still uploading on all of our platforms, including this one. But because this is a TOC product, I no longer find it viable that I'm hosting it on my personal YouTube. But anyway, whenever you see us, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Doodles.